for our CEO, Mr. Antonis Polemitis, for his welcoming.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Glad to stand here to be streamed. Hi, this is me. First, let me say I couldn't be more thrilled to see people back on campus. We have had a year and a half where we have been primarily online, and that's worked very well and very fine, and everything has proceeded in people's academic pathways. But it has been a very strange, unusual experience coming here, seeing instead of 7,000 people around on campus, students, faculty, staff, seeing 10 or 15 or 20. And so the last week has been very exciting for me, the last few days, coming to work and actually seeing people around. So I hope, I have my fingers crossed that we are past COVID disruptions. I think we will have some inconveniences. So I would ask you, as we've asked the faculty and staff, to keep in mind that some things, there might be some inconveniences. We might have some lines, we might have some tricky situations. But I think relative to what the last year was, where we're all sitting at home, it's infinity better. So I hope we can have a smooth semester. I hope we can have a smooth academic year. And I'm really, really very, very excited that you're back on campus. Or in your case, some of your cases, on campus for the first time, I suppose is correct. But we're back on campus and you're here with us. I'm not going to be long today. What I wanted to cover is not details about the university or Cyprus or Nicosia. I think you'll hear that many times while you're here. I want to speak about you a little bit, and specifically about the following. You've heard this before, but you don't really appreciate it until you get older. This is a very special time for you. You think you're busy, and you are busy, and you have tests and exams and homework and all those things, and it feels busy. But it is, I think, the one time in your life you do have the time and mental space to actually explore new things. And as busy as you think you are now, trust me, someday you'll have a job, a family, kids, etc. It's worse. Right? I thought when I was your age, I was very busy. Right? I thought that. This is not true. It's much, much worse. I barely have time to remember what my name is on a typical day. So let alone go on journeys of self-exploration, right? Journeys of self-exploration are not for this phase. What does this mean practically? I think it is super important to keep in mind that it is unlikely that what you think you're going to do with the rest of your lives today is what you're actually going to do with the rest of your lives. This was always true. This was true even in the prehistoric days when I was in university. And I've changed career, I don't know, 5 times probably. It's going to be much more true for your generation. The pace of change is accelerating. And so I view this age, but also your 20s, as a period where you should try things. You might think that you are going to be a psychologist or accountant or a graphic designer. That might be the case, but it might not be. And so you should use these years to try different things, take a class, meet other people, look into other ways of life and careers and what have you, because you might discover that something else is a better fit for you. And generally in life, doing something that you're supposed to do versus doing something that you're genuinely good at and interested in, you will do better at the latter than at the former, right? Like that's eventually, the most successful people end up developing something, some combination of skills where they are the best in the world at that very micro thing that they do, right? That's the way to be most successful, to be a unique person, right? Not be replaceable by someone else. And so that is partly what careers are available, what markets are available, but it's also partly about you. And so I encourage you not to lock in too early. You're at an age where you don't have to lock in. And the world is going to change faster and get weirder. The world is going to get quite weird over the course of your lives. I'm a big believer in the fourth industrial revolution. I think these technologically driven changes are going to accelerate. And over the course of your career, the world when you retire is going to be unrecognizable to us today. I mean, genuinely unrecognizable. And so what does this mean practically? Stay flexible, of course, but also whatever your career, whatever your interest is, whatever academic discipline you're involved in, whatever career you're involved in, you have to be digital. It is going to sweep through everything. It's going to sweep through every single profession. You have an advantage. You're young. You know, my generation, the older generations are going to struggle with these things. That's your advantage to accelerate your career, because you're going to come into some organization and no one's going to know, I don't know, what an NFT is or what VR is or quantum computing is or robotics or what have you. And if you're the person who knows whatever it is you know, plus technology, right? I'm not saying everyone should be a computer scientist, like you could be a psychologist. But if you're a psychologist, plus you know how VR works in psychology, you're going to be accelerated in your life, accelerated in your career. There is no thing I'm more sure of than digital and technology is going to be the driving force of the next 20, 30 years of human society, not a specific field. So keep that in mind as you think about things. Now, the single most exciting thing for me is when students graduate from the University of Nicosia and go do impressive things. We are not the ending point of people, right? We're the starting point. We're a place where people leave the home, come here, prepare for adult life, and hopefully go off and do very interesting things. I'm going to love to show you a few videos of some of our graduates who, in a variety of fields and a variety of countries, have gone off to do some interesting things, and then I'll wrap up after that. So in a few years, I think we are likely to still be here. You will be somewhere else. And I hope that some of you are in some of those videos because you're off doing interesting things around the world. I'd like to close with this. We are here to help you, to support you. I can speak on behalf of the administrative services of the university. Whatever you need, please let us know, both in general across administrative services, and then Dr. Alexandros Andonaras is the VP of Student Services, so he has promised that he will take care of all your life problems 24/7, 365. Just call him at home at 3 in the morning. If you need Gatorade or anything, he'll just run it right over to the dorm. So thank you. Appreciate your service here, Alexander. So have a great semester. Stay safe. Let us know if you need anything, and look forward to seeing what you all get up to. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And this is the end of this session for the online students.